Your home for Monday Night Football. KTFM Floresville. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, Mike McCarthy is back in fold with the Dallas Cowboys, and he's asking fans to buy back in.
I came here to win a championship. I didn't come here to get another contract or anything other than that. I came to Dallas to win the world championship, and that's why I'm standing here and buy into us.
The Houston Astros are making a push for five-time All-Star Josh Hader and Victor Wembanyama. Well, he'll be out tomorrow against the Hornets.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge. What's up, Dad? Can't stop me now.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pledger. Thanks for joining me this evening. However you may be listening, whether it's 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, or if you're on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star, like, subscribe, comment along, welcome into the chat, or if you got something you want to get off your chest, well, just call in 210-656-ESPN, 210-656-3776. If you want to be a part of the conversation, lots to get into today. Of course, the big news of the day with Mike McCarthy, and most importantly, got a guest coming on the show today at 6:15. Cody Stutes of Houston Football, did radio in Houston. He'll be joining me at 6:15 as we get you ready for Texans and Ravens and how this go-around could be different for C.J. Stroud and the Texans as they head up to Baltimore for the second time this season. But we start off with the biggest news of the day, that being what we ended the show with last night. The fact that Mike McCarthy will be back for the Dallas Cowboys. And I know Cowboy fans not happy about it. If you want to vent, if you want to blow V8, if you just want to rant, feel free. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776, or, of course, just comment along on the YouTube channel and I'll get to them. But Mike McCarthy knows exactly what is on the line here. And I'm going to try and break down for you why this may actually be a good thing for the Dallas Cowboys. But he was asked if he had a message to fans.
We're extremely disappointed. Disappointed for them. Disappointed in our performance. But my message would be this: we have established a championship program. It's just not the world championship yet. We know how to win. We know how to train to win. We have the right people. But we have not crossed the threshold of winning playoff games, and it's extremely disappointing to be sitting here talking about it. But I know how to win, and we will get over that threshold. I have total confidence in it, and that's why I'm standing here today.
Now, he would double down on that fact, and this was Jane Slater of the NFL Network, who was on with the Blitz yesterday afternoon, and she managed to ask Mike McCarthy, because after his comments about winning and being a championship team and his message to the fans, she wanted to know, and she asked him why the fans should buy back in.
Because I believe that the direction, the leadership, everything is in place. And I'm not very comfortable talking about myself, but I came here to win a championship. I didn't come here to get another contract or anything other than that. I came to Dallas to win the world championship, and that's why I'm standing here and into us.
Really inspiring the confidence there with that one. Buy into us. Cowboy fans, I know you're not happy. I'm going to try and spin this as positively as I can for you in terms of what this means for the Cowboys moving forward. And there are going to be benchmarks that you have to look for with this, obviously. A lot of Cowboy fans are sick of Mike McCarthy, and a lot of Cowboy fans are sick with Dak Prescott and their lack of success in the postseason. Be careful with the Dak Prescott thing because it is hard to find those quarterbacks, and you don't want to jump out of that boat without having a life raft to jump into. Otherwise, it could be a very long time on a very tough treadmill. Cowboy fans, you should be aware of this. You went through it between Aikman to Romo. It's not easy to find it. And that's what's going to make the Chicago Bears such an interesting case study this postseason is the fact that they've got a guy that in his third year showed improvement and is knocking at the door of being a top 10 quarterback right on the fringe of, say, 15 to 12, wherever you want to place Justin Fields with the way he ended the season. And his receivers love him, and they're about to throw him out, trade him. Atlanta probably makes a lot of sense. And go with Caleb Williams by all accounts. Caleb Williams is considered a very, very good prospect, as was Bryce Young. And I know it's only been 1 year for Bryce Young. And sometimes it takes time. But while you're resetting the clock, you're also possibly resetting the franchise in terms of that possibility. But I say all that to get to this. When it comes to Dak Prescott and Mike McCarthy, look for Dak Prescott and see what they do with his contract, whether it's an extension, the way the extension's framed, if he can be traded, if there's a no trade clause. What happens with Dak Prescott this offseason? Because now it is, are McCarthy and Dak tied together is going to be the question. And if so, and if they don't perform by the end of this year, do the Cowboys pull the plug on the whole thing and start from scratch? Whether that's with Trey Young or a quarterback, Trey Lance, or a quarterback they draft this year, next year, whatever it may be, and bring in a new head coach. Somebody brought up today, hey, Shedeur Sanders is coming out. Does Dion go with him after his year at Colorado and transitioning them into the Big 12? It's a good question. The pieces line up as the Cowboys sit currently for that possibility. But it is by no means a certainty. But those of y'all that are unhappy with those, just keep an eye on what the Cowboys will do with Dak Prescott and his contract this offseason and how the verbiage, if they do anything with it, works out for him. Because it's going to be very interesting moving forward to see how the Cowboys manipulate the cap this offseason. They're projected to be $11 million over heading into it. They can free up 13 by cutting Michael Gallup. That's the obvious move for them. There will be other moves. There will be people that are leaving. One of the people that could be leaving, might not be leaving, would be Tyron Smith. And McCarthy was asked today about his exit interview with Tyron Smith and kind of how that went. And I found it very interesting what he had to say about Tyron's exit interview with him.
I think the biggest thing for Tyron is we talked about the path of his season and the training plan that was in place for him. This is clearly his best season that I've experienced with him since 2020. So he felt really good about that. I think just the fact that he's not going into the offseason without any big postseason surgeries is a real plus, but we'll continue to talk, moving forward.
That sounded a lot like a pitch was made to Tyron Smith. Hey, remember how you didn't practice this year and you were as healthy as you've been over the last God knows how long, at least since he's been here, the 4 years that he's been here, and even predating that. we've got a plan in place for you on how to manage you and keep you as healthy as possible throughout the course of a season and try not to subject you to major injuries as you're going into this offseason pretty healthy. Come back on a friendly deal, help us out, help us to bridge the gap because the Cowboys really don't have an answer if Tyron Smith were to walk in free agency at this point in time. And that was Mike McCarthy's pitch to him is, remember what we did for you with your practice schedule. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM. Coming up next, Cody Stutes of Houston Football, former radio host in the city. He covers the Texans front to back, and he's going to let us know why this time could be different for the Texans as they head to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. That's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pledger on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown.
14 teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Good morning, Stephen Hawking. What do you suggest that Bobo does to get a bride?
He should probably look to the Orient.
So, Steve, you think you should grab an Asian girl, not a South American?
We all get tired of Mexican food sometimes. I would rather have the Kung Pao.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Every Saturday morning.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
I'm Scott, the owner of Solid Fire Pits. When I began welding my custom-made fire pits for friends and family, I shared them on TikTok because I was just so proud of them. Check it out. That's beautiful. I posted every new fire pit design and more people kept ordering from 26 states and counting. Then on my birthday, I had my best sales ever. Now how can the universe beat that?
Solid Fire Pits is just one of the 5 million U.S. businesses that rely on TikTok every day. TikTok sparks business.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now, and the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products, and we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
This year, Every Plate is serving up their most sizzling deal yet. $1 steak every single week. Not only can you dig into 10 ounces of delicious steak for just $1, but you can enjoy Every Plate's other tasty meals for just $1.49 each. Whether you're resolving to save money or just want to enjoy every bite in 2024, America's Best Value Meal Kit has you covered. Get started with $1 steak every week and meals for $1.49 each with code MSJ49 at everyplate.com. Everyplate.com.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
this is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormones. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Howdy, San Antonio. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're locked on the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, or on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star. Like, subscribe, comment along. The Houston Texans, we are just 2 sleeps away from the Texans taking on the Ravens up in Baltimore for the second time this season, and as they make their way into the divisional round of the playoffs, because, you know, CJ Stroud and D'Amico Ryans working that magic together. I've got Cody Stutes from HOUfootball.com with the latest on the Texans. Cody, how are you doing, my man?
I couldn't be any better, man. I mean, about 48 hours from now, we'll know who's going to the AFC Championship for this matchup, and I sure hope it's the Houston Texans.
Earlier today, John McClain was on with the Blitz, and he was talking about it was, I believe he said 1978, last time the city of Houston was in an AFC title game.
That sounds about right. And, of course, the Texans have never made it to an AFC title game. The closest they got was a 24-0 lead over Kansas City. And my goodness, if they got a 24-0 lead against the Ravens, I'm going to be wringing my hands the whole time.
Well, you and me both, but I feel different this year. And I remember watching that game at Lil Woodrow's in Midtown when I was with a buddy of mine who happens to be a Chiefs fan, and he looks over me and I got my hood pulled tight over my face. And he's like, "You're not comfortable?" I was like, hell no. Bill O'Brien just on 4th and 1 decided to kick a field goal with the offense humming, and momentum immediately shifted. And then he made the stupid decision to go for a fake punt because the momentum was falling away from him to try and change it. And it just exacerbated everything. But here's the difference between that and this. I have faith in D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud. There is this unwavering calmness that they are going to make the right decisions and do what is right.
That's one of the biggest things about the season for the Texans is, yeah, it's great to make the playoffs. It's fantastic to be in this position to play for your first AFC championship. But the biggest questions for this season were, do you have the right coach and do you have a quarterback? And a resounding yes to both of those for the Texans. And it was pretty apparent that both D'Amico Ryans and CJ Stroud were the right guy early on in this season. I feel like right around the New Orleans game, pulling out of that first 2 games where they lost and taking care of business against, the Steelers, and then they end up beating the Saints, and they had a little dip against the Panthers, and then they went on a little run there. The comeback against Tampa and a back and forth affair. They take care of business in Cincinnati against Joe Burrow, and it became pretty clear those 2 guys are the guys for this organization. And then once you get to the midseason, it's like, well, how far can they take this? Well, we see they're in the divisional round. That's how far you can take it when you got a really good quarterback and you got a really good coach.
CJ Stroud has yet to lose to a team twice. How can this time in Baltimore be different?
Because they're not facing the same CJ Stroud they faced the very first time. I mean, first time out there, and Bobby Slowick, the offensive coordinator, talked about it this week. They were having trouble just getting the ball down, getting the center to snap it on time. The game operation improved in the next couple of weeks, and then obviously CJ Stroud turned into an absolute supernova. When he is dialed in and when that offense is in rhythm, there are so few offenses that operate as cleanly as they do. Yeah, he might make a throw here or there that's a little risky, but very rarely do you see CJ Stroud make a big mistake. And even if he does make a mistake, he usually can make a couple of plays to overcome that. I think back to a couple of weeks ago against the Indianapolis Colts, previous Texans teams and even this team earlier in the season would have been sunk by a holding penalty and a sack. They had both of those on the same drive. Stroud finished the drive 7 for 7. They scored the go-ahead touchdown and never gave it back to the Indianapolis Colts after that, or never gave the lead back to the Colts after that. That is something that is growth over the course of the season. They are just really tough to stop when they get in a rhythm. Sometimes it takes them a minute to get going. That's the biggest thing against Baltimore. The Ravens don't give up hardly any points. It's the best defense when it comes to points allowed in the National Football League. They've got a lot of players that are really good matchups for Baltimore against the Texans, but C.J. Stroud's faced teams where he's been at a big disadvantage over the course of this season, and he's made it happen. You got belief in him, you got a chance, and that's the biggest thing about this matchup is this quarterback can play an excellent level of football that can beat even a team like the Ravens.
You look at that, and I know a lot is put on CJ versus that Ravens defense and how it's going to be different this time around. But that defense in that first week did play well against the Ravens, although they fairly enough were adjusting to a brand new offense under Todd Monken. How does the defense now this part of the season, because it feels like a completely different team, both of them do, than what we saw in week one. How does that defense kind of neutralize Lamar Jackson and that Ravens offense?
The biggest thing for me is the defensive line of the Texans. They have got to make Lamar make a decision as fast as possible. Make him throw the ball, get rid of it before those routes go and take time and develop, or make him tuck and go and then give those linebackers a chance to peel off a coverage and go out there and go get him. Plus, this defensive line has done a pretty darn good job stopping opposing teams' rushing attacks, so you can't let Gus Edwards and Justice Hill and whoever else the Ravens are running out there at running back, you can't let them get going, because if they're running the ball with the running backs well, it makes Lamar's rushing even more harder to predict. It makes it even more effective when he's sitting back there off a play action and dialing up a big play, the Flowers or Beckham or Mark Andrews, their tight end, if he plays. So the defensive line's got to make Jackson make decisions right away. And then the secondary has to be sticky. Steven Nelson, Derek Stingley, they've got to be as good as they've been all season long in this moment. And that secondary, from the safety standpoint, they can't let some of these talented deep threats get behind them. So heat up Lamar, make him make a decision quick. So if he is throwing, it's a short pass. If he is running, guys have time to react to it. And then you've got to hope that Derek Stingley and Steven Nelson are excellent in coverage. You probably need a turnover, maybe two, to get this done if you're the Texans. The Ravens have had throughout the year when they've played their starters, they've only lost when they've turned the football over. So if they play a clean game, it's going to be tough to beat them. You've got to get a turnover as well.
Well, and one thing that helps with turnovers is pressure, and the Houston Texans have been dialing that up, and the Baltimore Ravens have given up 13 sacks over their last 6 games.
Man, Lamar gives up a lot of sacks in the playoffs too. His career average on sacks, or sacks taken in the regular season is 2.2. In the playoffs, he's averaging almost double that in the playoffs. So he gets sacked a lot in the playoffs. Some of that's him running into the pressure. Some of that's him not being able to escape from the pressure, trying to extend a play. It's really weird too. Lamar's had some issues with blitzes, and the Texans don't love to blitz. So DeMeco Ryans has got to kind of fine-tune that. But when you talk about the pressure from the Texans, 2 guys are the most important. Those 2 defensive ends. It's Jonathan Grenard. It's Will Anderson. Those guys have got to win one-on-one matchups. They've got to win one-on-one matchups quick, and they got to get to Lamar Jackson, heat him up, make him make those quick decisions.
And, I mean, the Texans have done such a great job kind of reinventing that defensive line throughout the season. Their pickup of Barnett has been a windfall for them, including the defensive tackles like Tart and stuff throughout the season. They've been key in run stopping when you talk about Tart, and then Derek Barnett's seemed to have found a second life with the
Barnett
Texans.
Was a really nice waiver claim in the middle of the Eagles, some experience with this style of defense. Majai Sanders, who's a guy they picked up from the Cardinals, they run him out there every now and then they just they love to rotate guys to keep them fresh, and especially with Grenard and Anderson. Yes, they're going to play. Yes, I believe they're both going to start. Neither one of them are 100% in this matchup, so you may need a little extra breather, a little extra moment for them. So when you got backups that have played a little bit for you and you trust them, that's a big thing. That's another thing this Texans team has that previous ones didn't have, and they showcased over the course of the season. It's a much deeper team than in previous years, and one of the deepest teams that I can remember covering.
You talk about the health with Grenard and Anderson and them dealing with the ankle sprains and not quite being 100%. How's the injury report looking for Houston as they roll into this one? Obviously, no Noah Brown with the shoulder on IR, lost Tank Dell earlier in the season, but are they pretty clean coming in through to Baltimore, or as clean as you could hope they could be?
As clean as you hope they could be is probably the way I would put it. Jerry Hughes is out. He's not going to play. He got hurt a couple weeks ago. But no Hughes. Christian Harris showed up on the injury report yesterday with a calf, but he practiced today, so I'd expect him to play. Grenard's a go. Rankins is a go at defensive tackle. Collins is a go at defensive tackle. Anderson's a go. So as good as it could have been for the Texans, that's where it is from an injury standpoint. All hands on deck. Can't hold anything back last game of the season if you don't win this one. So you got to make sure you take care of business.
It's the last game of the season. You can't hold anything back.
Well, water boy for you.
Yeah. I look at this team and with what D'Amico Ryans has done, with what CJ Stroud's done, with what Will Anderson's done, there's a good chance that they could go 4 for 4 on awards in the postseason in terms of offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, head coach of the year. And you mentioned all the claims, all the people they brought in, the Dalton Schultzes, the Noah Browns, the contributors. And then you just look at the draft this year and every pick seems to be a hit, from Tank Dell to Jarrett Patterson, who was starting at center before going on injured reserve. I think Nick Caserio, if he doesn't win Executive of the Year, I don't know what that award's for.
Yeah, it's going to be, look, CJ Stroud's got the win there for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I understand Puka Nacua had a nice year, but CJ Stroud was incredible. So he's the Offensive Rookie of the Year. Anderson's going to be tough. It's going to be close. Jalen Carter, maybe some of those Rams guys. That one's going to be close, but it's a solid argument for Will Anderson if you want to make it. D'Amico Ryans, you got a great argument for him. Obviously, Kevin Stefanski deserves to be in the conversation for what he's able to do with 4 different quarterbacks over the course of the year with the Browns. And then for Caserio, I mean, look, I voted all Texans in the Pro Football Writers of America, voting that we got. I voted Stroud, Anderson, Ryans, and Caserio. I don't know that there's many executives, because you talked about it. Stroud, the trade up for Anderson. Juice Scruggs, once he got healthy, immediate starter. Tank Dell was fantastic. Patterson, To'o's helped out with depth. That's just the draft class, the veterans they brought in, the in-season stuff, bringing back Desmond King after cutting him earlier in the year, and he's settled in nicely to the slot cornerback spot. Like, so many good moves from a big standpoint, and just the small cracks and crevices that Nick Caserio was able to fill in. Got to be Executive of the Year.
Executive of the Year, and we got to start giving him respect to the previous draft class as well, because he took a lot of heat after the first year on Derek Stingley after what we saw what Sauce Gardner did, but it's clear. I see what they saw on Derek Stingley now.
Yeah, the talent has been evident when he has been playing, but he's taken it to a whole nother level, and it really goes to show you how much the Texans trust him and how impressive he is. They don't like to follow wide receivers. D'Amico Ryans, calling defense in his career, doesn't like to follow wide receivers. What did they do last week to shut down Amari Cooper? They had Derek Stingley follow Amari Cooper. So it goes to show you the level of trust that D'Amico Ryans has for Derek Stingley and the level of talent that Stingley does have to have D'Amico Ryans completely change how he operates defense to maximize his team's defensive approach for a game.
Are you hurt? Or do your feelings hurt? Or have you been misled? Because I know all week long y'all were asking him, and D'Amico Ryans was adamantly saying we don't follow players.
I think if you listen to him, he said we haven't followed guys much in the past, I think is one of the ways he said it. And it was like, he kind of left the door open just a little bit if you were paying attention, reading between the lines. D'Amico will give you some read between the lines opportunities, that's for sure.
He is Cody Stutes of HOUfootball.com. All the greatest stuff. And be sure to check out his YouTube channel at Cody Stutes 1, I believe it is.
Yeah, just type in my name, Cody Stutes, into YouTube. You'll find it.
It'll pop up. Subscribe, like. I mean, Cody Stutes is on top of it when it comes to the Houston Texans. Cody, I appreciate you taking some time with me this afternoon.
Anytime, man.
That is Cody Stutes on the Buyers Barricades guest lines. Buyers Barricades provides service and beyond at buyersbarricades.com. Coming up next here on Extra Innings with Pleasure, we get you ready for the rest of Super Wildcard Weekend, or the divisional round of the playoffs, as the Texans get set to play the Ravens. We'll also look at some of the other matchups, including Chiefs, Bills, Packers, 49ers, and Lions versus Bucks, even though we kind of already think we know how that one's going to go. But that's all coming up, plus more on Mike McCarthy and the fallout. If you want to grab a line, 210-656-3776. That is 656 ESPN if you want to be a part of the conversation. More on Extra Innings with Pleasure coming up next here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Wemby, man, the hype is insane. I love the guy. I love his game. I love him playing for that coach. I love him in that community. And I think it's a great thing.
It's the Jim Rome Show, where Wemby and Rome rule. Weekdays at noon.
Hey, Jim Rome here.
Have a take, San Antonio. And certainly do not suck.
Man, I'm nervous. I wouldn't want that gig.
It's the Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aww. He just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages.
Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ROCK to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ROCK to 42424. That's ROCK to 42424.
When something happens to your car, you might say, but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope, and they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Can't stop, won't stop. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I'm James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Just got a phone call during the break. Eastside Ray, longtime listener, calling to congratulate me, saying he watched the show. Appreciate you, Eastside Ray. Go back a long way. Eastside Ray has been a listener, since this place was 1250 The Zone. So that was nice to understand. I appreciate you, Eastside Ray. Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pledger. I'm James Pledger. Online, on YouTube, at SA Sports Star. Like, subscribe, follow along, comment along with the show if you want. Going through some of these. Taking a look at Joshua Jimenez saying, Cody Stutes, love the show, appreciate it. Fevria Real says he used to listen to Cody Stutes all the time on Houston radio in the past. That's right. He was at 610 for a while. Then he went to, I believe it was 97.5, where he was on the Wheelhouse with Jake Asman and BK. So, big fan of Cody Stutes. Followed him throughout his career. Now he's doing his own thing, and it is awesome. Houston, HOUfootball.com. Go to Cody Stutes, search on YouTube, check out his videos. He's got them up damn near daily, just following the team, giving you the latest on what's going on down in Houston. Or, you could just follow me as well, because I'll keep you involved as much as I can on what's happening with those Houston I think they've got a great chance this weekend. I think the defense showed well the first time against Lamar. I think that the defense is playing even better now than it was then. And the fact that CJ Stroud is a completely different player and that offense is a completely different offense because they were having trouble getting out of the huddle. They were having trouble because it was Bobby Slowick's first game as an offensive coordinator as well. You could tell Bobby Slowick and CJ Stroud are in their bag together right now, and they are feeling it. They've got the vibes going, and that offense is clicking. And one of the reasons that offense is clicking, it has been clicking since they've officially made Devin Singletary the lone lead back. They will sprinkle in some Dameon Pierce from time to time, but Dameon Pierce, he's a hammer. They're going to use him in short yardage situations for the most part. That's what he is. He ran the power scheme last season, and it's a better fit for him than is the zone scheme. And Devin Singletary just fits the zone scheme better. He knows the cutback. He knows how to make that move. And the offense has taken off since Devin Singletary has been the lead back. And every time they try and work Dameon Pierce into more carries, it always kind of throws off the offense. So having Devin Singletary, I think, is a huge kind of missed portion of how the Texans offense has taken off under Bobby Slowick. But Bobby Slowick has been in his bag, and he is getting head coaching interviews, and he should. I don't want him to, but he should, because I want to keep him and Bobby and CJ Stroud together for at least a couple of years before CJ has to start dealing with losing coordinators. But I think it's a great coaching staff that surrounds and allows that team to flourish. That being said, I think the Texans, I'm leaning them as we head into it. On the bottom side of things, if Josh Allen can't get the Chiefs at home this time, there's going to be hell to pay, I think, in Buffalo, because this is their best opportunity to upset the champs. They've got it at home. Kansas City obviously not playing as great defensively or offensively as they have in years past. They don't have the same punch or potency on offense. But defensively, man, that Chiefs defense is going to keep them in games. So that's going to come down to Josh Allen. Is Josh Allen going to turn the football over and give Patrick Mahomes and that offense more chances? I'm currently leaning Kansas City because of their defense. We'll finalize these predictions tomorrow, but those are my initial leans on the AFC side of things. When we go to the NFC side of things, it's a bit more clear cut to me. It's been fun, Baker. You're doing a great job. You played and won your way into a contract and people believing in you. But the Lions should win this game, and I think they should win it pretty easily. But Jared Goff, Dan Campbell, those Lions, they are going to roll into an NFC championship game and breathe new life into that city up in Detroit. While on the bottom side of things, I think the Packers make this more of a game than it should be because it's teacher versus student, Shanahan versus LaFleur. It hasn't gone swimmingly for either. It has been very 50-50 on it. And currently, because of the strength of that team, I lean Shanahan and the 49ers. But I do think Green Bay has a shot in this game. I'm not going to count them out of it. So you could see 49ers, Lions, possibly Texans, Chiefs, possibly Ravens, Bills on the other side. What matchup are you most looking championship games, be sure to let me know in the comments section on YouTube at SA Sports Star. Like, subscribe, comment along. You can call into the show 656 ESPN 210-656-3776, because when we come back, Mike McCarthy is back for the Dallas Cowboys. So what does that mean for the future of this team moving forward? And is this a prove-it year for both he and Dak Prescott? Or is one safer than the other? We'll discuss next right here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's R&R in the morning.
Friday on R&R in the morning. Spurs, Charlotte, no Wemby. We're getting you ready for what should be another Spurs win.
Mike McCarthy spoke to talk about how he's sticking around in 2024, and we have some thoughts. But the Cowboys aren't playing this weekend. We'll make our divisional picks. We start at 6. Bring the cop.
It's your wake-up call. R&R in the morning, 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
It's 40 love here in the third set.
And there's the bell. She's coming off the bench hot, looking for a quick knockdown. But wait, she's driving to the hoop. Oh, down goes the champ.
Now that's another double fault. She'll be shooting too.
The serve is up. And here comes the left hook. She's bundled her home and auto insurance with Progressive. Swish, ace, savings, TKO.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today, because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Hi, Jason Minix here from The Blitz. With the NBA season in full swing, you want in on the action? Go download the Underdog Fantasy app and start playing the Pick'em game, which is a ton of fun to play. It is fantasy, but you can win real cash money, and it is legal in Texas. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build your Pick'em entry, and all you have to do is select whether they will be higher or lower on their stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. It certainly makes watching our local basketball team or your favorite players a lot more interesting. Underdog is super easy to play, and get started. Download the easy-to-use mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a special pick of higher than half a total yard to use on your first pick of entry. Must and state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or go to ncpgambling.org.
If you're a man and you live in San Antonio or the surrounding areas, you need to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Are you having issues rising to the occasion? Do you constantly worry about whether or not you can perform? Have you completely stopped having adult time? Is it something you just don't talk about? Guys, we have a solution. Mojo, the 100% guaranteed male enhancement pill that's fast, effective, and was designed to reignite passion, performance, and confidence in the bedroom. Yeah. Be ready at a moment's notice with the Mojo Male Enhancement Pill from Pure Line Nutrition. And for those of you who have used Mojo, check out Mojo Enduramax. Touchdown! A new formula that improves the potency and effectiveness of Mojo. Get fast results, last longer, and be the man she'll never forget. Mojo and Mojo Enduramax. 100% natural male enhancement formulas only available at Pure Line Nutrition. Call now, 210-494-2210. That's 210-494-2210. Or visit us online at thepureline.com.
Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportsstar.com. On YouTube at SA Sports Star. Like, subscribe, follow along, all that good stuff. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me this evening as we get ready for a big weekend with the Texans taking on the Ravens and all the other divisional round games. As we'll be one step closer to the Super Bowl and sadly one step closer to the end of the NFL season. But we get the UFL coming up. Head coach Wade Phillips was on the Blitz a little bit earlier today. Of course, you can catch that interview in the audio vault powered by AA Best Bail Bonds at sasportsstar.com. Good stuff from Wade Phillips. It was awesome meeting him. He helped to kind of turn around the Texans and make them into a playoff team when they hadn't been before and kind of change the narrative and the culture there. And much appreciated for everything he did for the city of Houston while he was there. Wonder if he's as beloved by Cowboy fans, knowing that the way things ended for him here. But I digress. I look at Mike McCarthy, who will be getting another year, coming out to play his 5th and final year of his contract, and Dak Prescott coming to play the final year of his 4-year deal. And this is going to be very interesting to see how things play out for Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott, whether they're tethered together or not. But he was asked about at the end of his press conference whether the team, because of how ugly it got and how early it got, whether that team came out flat or not.
No, I think if anything, we were going too fast. You know, that was the common message with the players. And you know, I watched the game, Sunday night when I got home, and that's what I felt. You know, we were, we've done such an excellent job in the big play, production component of the game, and it's definitely one of our strengths all year. But you can't chase big plays, and there's a number of times we were chasing plays, and it bit us in the ass.
Now, when he says they were playing fast, not flat, does that feel like nerves to you? Serious question, Cowboy fans. When he mentions about playing fast, does that feel like the nerves got to him of the moment? The pressure of the moment got to them because they needed to win, because the Packers were the 7th seed and Dak Prescott had all the pressure on his shoulders, and they got to come in and play loose and free and clean, and the Cowboys kind of clinched up in the moment, if you will. I'm interesting to know what y'all think. 656 ESPN 210-656-3776, because as soon as he said that, when he said they came out and played fast, first thought was that. I appreciate y'all joining me here on Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star 94.1 FM. Coming up next, well, we got Freddie and Fitzsimmons.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.